Quake Champions is we got a trailer. There's a free trial now through from June 10th through the 17th. There's a free. I almost said queef. I almost literally just said queef. All right, I gotta take that out of the show.
Do you?
Yes.
You didn't take queeping out of the show a few months ago. Why the hell are you taking queef out of the show?
Because queeping and queef are two entirely different beasts.
All right, I'll mark it down.
You are listening to Trophy Horse with your hosts, Tricky Mick, Alex, I Yield to No One,
Steve.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Trophy Horrors. This is your E3 recap extravaganza. Holy crap, we got a lot to talk about, but let's get into who we got with me. I have the man, I have the myth, and I have the legend. He's Alex.
My Tumblr is so much better than all of yours.
Well, we don't have any tumblers.
That's damn right you don't.
All right. Alongside with me, he is the master of the dual screens. He's Mr. Steven Fontana.
I am recording this episode under protest. E3 predictions are under protest, and that's all I got to say about that.
Well, I do have the results from Sid. So there's going to be some appealing. But Amanda didn't have anything to do with the predictions because he's just so frosty. It's Frosty.
Why'd he bite me?
What?
Why'd he bite me? Come on, you know where that's from.
Why did he bite me, man?
Oh, I didn't. I thought he said something about Whitey.
We're off to a great start.
Oh boy, it's been a long weekend, Steve. Give me a break. A lot of presser watching, a lot of arguing back and forth, a lot of stress, and a lot of I don't know what the hell they just showed us. I guess that's the easiest way to say it. Well, let's get into it. First, let's do our updated trophy count. I am level 35, total trophies of 9,068. I'm well on my way to 10,000 with 90 platinums. Alex.
I don't have my list in front of me. Tricky, would you mind reading off what I have?
You're so professional. You're level 30, total trophies of 6,594 with 98 platinums in 97 games.
Hey, while we're on that professionalism kick, you're not reading a bunch of shit this episode.
Hey, that is very professional. Yield is level 26, total trophies of 5,235 with 80 platinums. Steve?
Yeah, level 14, 1,844, and 5 plats.
Sid is level 32, total trophies of 7,112. Frosty, what the hell are you doing to my agenda? You're just bouncing around like a madman. Sid is level 32, total trophies of 7,112 with 111 platinums. And Frosty.
You saw that?
I can see it. It's live. That's what happens in a Google Doc.
I am a level 16 with 2,283 trophies and 10 plats.
Ooh. And only 2 of them you earned yourself. The other ones are earned by Daryl.
Probably.
Well, I know he got you 1 for My Name is Mayo.
My name is Mayo, yes.
And he also got your Goat Simulator 1.
He did. Well, I think technically Nick did.
Such shenanigans. The ways you guys tried to cheat at the war and you still lost.
You know it's bad? The fact that you keep bringing it up.
Well, I'm going to keep bringing it up until
you won, Tricky. You're like the only person I know who will win and then demand a rematch. Like,
no. I don't want a rematch. I just want my trophies that Daryl promised to send us.
Oh, well, that's not on me.
Yeah.
I am not the man to talk to.
I'm going to keep bringing them up until I can proudly put it in the background and just show you every single time you record with us, so it's just a constant reminder.
Oh, boy.
I don't think they care as much as you do, Tricky.
I don't think they do either. I'm sorry, I just looked over the agenda and somebody typed in the agenda topics. Oh dear God, are we really recapping every conference? I didn't clear my schedule for the next 2 days. I'm assuming that was you, Alex.
No, it was not me.
Oh no, that was Steven.
Yes,
Steven, I told you my game plan for the show. All right, let's get into what we're playing. The only thing I've been playing for the last 2 days is Fallout Shelter. That's it.
It's a good game.
Yeah. And it came to Switch today.
Indeed. Something
free?
else came to Switch today too. Yes, it is free.
Fortnite. Yeah. All right. I'll have to come on an episode of Dual Screens to talk about Fortnite, but I'm really worried about how that's going to work out, and I have some questions for you. But we're not going to do that on the show because we really got enough to talk about. Alex, what have you been playing?
Mega Man Legacy Collection.
Yes.
All right, Steven?
I've been playing Assassin's Creed Origins and South Park Fractured Butthole on my PlayStation 4 entertainment system.
But yet you only got one trophy.
Yeah, I still haven't popped the trophy.
Frosty.
I have been playing Final Fantasy IX and the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection.
I approve that message.
Yes. I actually went to a local gaming store. They just opened up, and they host like local tournaments. Me and a bunch of buddies went up there and played. It was a blast. So I think I'll be trying to do that at least once a month. It's good stuff.
Wow.
So you can show everybody in your neighborhood how bad you suck at Street Fighter?
Yeah, well, that's how you get good. You go get your ass kicked a lot, and eventually you'll get better.
Alex, I don't know if you sense this, but I'm sensing it, and I'm feeling it, and I think Tricky's feeling it. E3 just kicked our asses, I think, and we got to get excited because some crazy shit happened on E3. Not as crazy as years past, but I'm excited to dive right into this thing. Let's do this. Let's take the gloves off and start punching each other in the throat.
Okay, well, I was planning to do that. Thank you for that awesome segue.
Do it.
All right, we're gonna before we actually get into all the conferences, this is our plan. We're gonna recap the entire Sony conference, good, bad, and different. We're telling you about everything in Sony. From there, the other conferences, which I think there were 5 or 6 of them. I don't know. They're all on the agenda.
So I'm going to stop you right here.
Oh boy,
there were 7.
We need to do the
7.
predictions and the Sony press conference. Nothing else.
There's other stuff that needs to be talked about.
Well, here's the thing: our predictions are gonna touch on other conferences anyway, but I don't think we need
Trust
to
me,
do bullet by bullet point.
Trust me, we're not going through everything on the other conferences. We're just whatever Sony related is going to be talked about.
Yeah, but we also don't.
And
We
we don't have to talk.
mention something and then not have anything to talk about and just move on.
Stop being Mr. Cranky Pants and just go with the flow.
I
here.
told you it's tired in here. E3 was exhausting. This weekend was exhausting.
All right, let's start with the biggest e-boner that I popped over the weekend, and that's The Last of Us 2 got a gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
Oh my lord, does this game look good? It confirms we are playing as Ellie. One striking thing that we did not see in this trailer was Joel, although there's speculation that he was referred to.
Yeah, they hint to him.
Yeah, because in the trailer, the guy who was talking to Ellie at the beginning says, "Your dad."
Well, he says, "Your old man."
Well,
oh, you mean Glenn? I thought he died.
Okay. So, I have some speculation on that, but let's talk about the gameplay for real quick. Yes, you're playing as Ellie. A man gets disemboweled, which I'm sure there's going to be some kind of controversy on the internet about how gruesome this trailer was.
It's tasty.
And then you're sneaking around as Ellie, and some new things that I saw with the sneaking around. You can now hide under cars.
Yes.
And towards the end of the trailer, after she was seen and goes into combat mode, there was a lot of the jumping over the wall mechanic seemed a lot more fluid, seemed a lot more solid. As you're in the store, you can dive in between shelving. So it looks solid as shit. And I've watched the trailer at least 25 times, trying to pick up on the little things. As you guys know, this is my favorite game of all time.
With that in mind, I watched it a couple of times myself, the gameplay stuff, and what I noticed was whenever Ellie was going under cars or in between shelves or doing anything that slick, it looked as if the HUD went away. So I'm wondering if those were point contextual movements, almost like you get to a certain point and you can decide to go under the car or whatever, and then like the HUD goes away and it goes into an animation. Like it didn't seem like it was you actually controlling where under the car you go. You know, do you get what I'm saying? You picking up?
I get what you're saying.
Almost like God of War in a way, except, yeah, I guess it was very similar to God of War when you're like going under, you know, in between rocks and stuff like that. That's just what it seemed like to me. But it was odd that would happen in the middle of combat. Like you would see her running away from getting shot at, and then she'll like slide very, very, very seamlessly, like slide into some cover and stuff. It looked really good. Did you, before I kick it away, did you see the tweet from the lead on Tomb Raider?
No, I did not.
It was taken down almost immediately, but somebody had said that, you know, it looked so great, the animations were so smooth, and the lead, I think it was the lead director or the studio head, that's what it was. The studio head of the Tomb Raider game said and fake or something like that, like implying that it wasn't real gameplay.
Really?
Yeah, and then there was a response, and then like a couple minutes later the tweet was gone and he came on and apologized. But just some food for thought that the Tomb Raider people were a little salty.
Well,
that's messed up.
When they can
Really?
When they can make as good of a game as Naughty Dog does, then they can talk shit.
Truth.
Well, I mean, okay.
The Tomb Raider games are good though. That's what
I was gonna say. Is they're not that far behind, and a lot of criticism that Naughty Dog gets with their games is they say that their combat is not as solid as it should be, and that should hold back the game. But everybody, quote unquote, you know, swoons over them because of the fact of it's Naughty Dog.
Here's the thing about Naughty Dog is that they are as consistent as Nintendo is in the quality of their games, and they're probably one of the very few development studios you can say that about.
I mean, well, Steven himself said that he hates the combat in The Last of Us.
It's the only reason why I still can't get through that game is just the constant juggling in mid combat of making shivs and Molotov cocktails. Like, it just breaks the action. What I liked from this was that it was way quicker and more seamless. Like, there was a part where Ellie was running full sprint and just grabbed the bottle and chucked it in one motion. Like, that's that's awesome.
That I actually got off my couch. I was like, yeah.
I remember she grabbed the human shield and he got shot with the arrow, so she just kind of put his body down. Yeah, that's something I was gonna say about the combat in this one. I noticed from the trailer is like when you were Joel, you were like this, you know, you were a grown man, so you were obviously stronger than Ellie was, you know, being a girl. But like now that she's older, she's stronger, she's more experienced, but at the same time, you know, she's fighting this giant dude with body armor on and a sledgehammer. She's having to fight her way to survive, and like you're running and you're maneuvering and you're hiding behind stuff, and I love that. I love the survival aspect to it, but also like this brutal, fast-paced action. You know,
she's also brutal as fuck. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like she is all out of fucks to give. Like, she just, whoo, man, was she going at it.
Okay, now one of the speculations is the girl that Ellie was dancing with at the party is the reason why we were led into the first trailer when she says, I'm going to find every single one of them and I'm going to kill every single one of them. Is that girl dying that she was dancing with is what sends Ellie over the edge. Because a lot of speculation is the reason she's going over the edge was that a lot of people said that Joel was dead and that she was imagining him in his head, and that's what set her off onto her rage. Now the speculation is it's because this girl at the party dies. Now, of course, like I said, all this is speculation. Nobody knows anything.
And why does she matter so much? Because they do make they had some hot makeout session because they love each other in a sexual way.
And see, and I'm going to say this right now. Anybody that's listening to the show, I cannot understand why people are flipping the hell out because they made Ellie lesbian. We knew that back in, what, 2-3 years ago? During the Left Behind DLC? We knew it then. Why are you flipping out now about it? Stop. Jesus Christmas. All right, let's move on to something I don't think any of us truly understand. They showed us some Death Stranding gameplay.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, can we, before we get into that, can we just talk about how it opened in a church? Like the setting.
Oh, the trailer?
Opened, yeah,
or the conference?
Like the conference opened in a makeshift like church that looked exactly like the church that they had this dance in, which was really cool. But then they had this stupid intermission after the Last of Us thing so that they could all change venues. And to me, that took the Sony
all the wind out of it.
Way down. Like it was an A from the get-go. It was like a 10 out of 10, and then boom, instantly dropped like a couple of points for me. It was it took the wind out of my sails. Like, I don't want to see those guys talk to each other. Like, come on, save that for after the conference. I get why they did it. They were changing venues, but it was poor planning, I think. But
what
okay,
I think one thing I'll say to that, because actually I was going to talk about that, but I totally forgot about it. The one thing I say that they could have done better is instead of put the conference audience in that church and then move the venue, is just do a satellite image, like that's the opening, and then fill the church with, to look like the party, with just random people dancing and whatnot, and have Gustavo play the banjo up there. They didn't have to move everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like poor planning, but
I get what they were trying to do, though.
Yeah, they're all about the theatrics and doing their own thing, but they had these 4 games, and I was actually worried that the next one was going to be like, I was worried that there were going to be 4 distinct sets. I'm glad they didn't do that, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that because that was a big part of what a lot of people's rage was about this Sony conference.
Well, and a lot of people, they were complaining about the conferences because it wasn't like a traditional conference. But this is what Sony's been doing the last couple of years, like changing up the way they do it, like just trailer after trailer after trailer, no talking, and everybody seemed to love that. This one, outside of the 15-minute intermission, that's basically what we got.
Yeah, it just wasn't the quantity was not there. It was very much quality, but I always want more. But speaking of, all right, Death Stranding. Sorry, that was a bad tangent. I apologize, Alex. I know you're probably over there rolling your eyes. I can literally hear your eyeballs rolling on the back of your eyelids.
By this point, they're stuck in place in the back of my head.
Death Stranding. We find out that Norman Reedus' character is a delivery man, and we see him walking around. Some things we see him carrying was a big box. Also looked like a dead body. We found out that I don't know what the hell's going on with the baby. But apparently that was helping him escape when he plugged into the baby. I don't know what the hell's going on. But we did get 2 new stars. You're going to have to help me with pronunciation there, Steven.
No way.
Seydoux?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, it's Lea is the first name, and the last name is Seydoux. Alex, maybe you know that?
Seydoux?
Seydoux?
Something like that, yeah.
And we get Lindsay Wagner.
Yeah. It
I
looks fantastic,
don't know what to
but
say.
We don't know what we're doing. That's a problem. It looks great, but we don't have a clue what we do.
The last little bit of gameplay footage they showed looks like it could possibly be like a sci-fi survival horror, where I'm just kind of piecing it together here.
Your guess is as good as mine, dude.
But it looks like you're part of some like remnant that's maybe trying to save humanity and from this alien threat, which sounds pretty basic for a Kojima game, but at the same time, it's going to have a lot of imagery and symbolism, and it's going to be weird, and it's going to have Eastern and Western influences, and it's going to be anime as hell, and I think it's going to be great, I hope it's going to be great. It looks great. I love Kojima, and I've always trusted him in what he's done, so.
There are possible elements of time travel, too, because they mentioned, like, if he gets caught, there'll be a crater, and he'll come back, but things will be different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just another thing that's weird. I don't know, man.
So
and
it's
the fact
Dark
that
Souls.
yeah, and the fact that Kojima said we're already playing the game, like that, just stop it. Just stop. Make a video game, please.
Yeah.
The
I
thing
want
that-
this game to go away until we get a release date or something.
Correct.
Because I don't want people to get into that mood where they're like, I'm tired of seeing this game.
The one thing that I'll point out that I noticed, and just something that I noticed during the gameplay, there was a scene where Norman Reedus' character dropped a picture, which we assume is either his wife and kid or his sister or whatever. But the picture was on the ground, and then whatever walked by him that has the hand footprints, it put the imprint around the picture, but it didn't push down the picture. So that, like, I don't know what the hell that is, because obviously it put the imprint into the ground, but didn't affect the picture.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
That's the symbolism to Konami. Kojima saying, you could step on me, but you can't hold me down.
All right, so before we move on to our next reveal, Alex is having a little bit of internet issues, he's trying to get that straightened out. But we're gonna move on without him. Hopefully, he'll make it back to us, and then maybe he could do like a quick recap of everything we talked about when he gets back. The next thing revealed at the Sony conference is the Resident Evil 2 remake was finally announced there for Rusty.
Finally. My gosh.
And it looks good.
It seemed like 10 years ago now, but I know it wasn't that long. But the representative from Capcom got up there and said, hey, you guys want a Resident Evil 2 remake? Well, we're doing it. And then we didn't hear anything else for a very long time. But finally, we got a trailer. And I knew it was Resident Evil 2 remake as soon as the trailer started. And you were like, it was like first
Really?
person. You were the little rat crawling up the thing. I was like, this has to be Resident Evil. And then I see the police officer getting bit by the zombie. And I'm like, okay, could be another zombie game, but I'm 99% sure this is Resident Evil. And then they showed Leon and everyone freaked out. So I was in the car watching the trailer actually on the way home. And it was
You weren't
lightning.
driving, were you?
No. My wife was driving, and it was storming real bad. And my wife's all freaking out about the lightning. And she's like, "It's getting bad. We need to get home. We don't get in an accident." And I'm sitting there like, yeah. And I got my headphones in. And I'm listening to it. And then when it showed
Like,
Leon,
shut up, honey. Resident Evil 2 is being shown.
yeah, it's like our life's in danger. I don't care. Resident Evil, and Leon pops up on the screen, and I'm literally jumping up and down in my seat, like. Fist bump in the air, right? And she starts freaking out. She's like, "What's wrong? Oh my god, what's wrong?" Because she can't hear or see what I'm looking at, right? And my wife got so mad at me.
See, when that trailer started, I was kind of hoping it was kind of like Moss 2. Because you think about it, you run around like a rat or a mouse. I was kind of thinking like they were announcing like a Moss 2 DLC or Moss DLC, whatnot. But then once I saw the cop, I was like, this is Resident Evil.
Yeah.
What?
Once I heard like arguing, like that's what I heard somebody not complying with somebody, and I was like, oh, this is definitely somebody turning into a zombie. Like almost immediately, I figured that. But yeah, that's super exciting, man. I kind of fell off the Resident Evil train. I'm looking forward to tackling Resident Evil 7 after I finish the Stick of Truth. Sorry, I said Fractured But Whole earlier. I'm actually on the Stick of Truth. Sorry about that. Screwed that up.
See, I never got on the Resident Evil train. Like, I've played them, but they just never really captivated me. But granted, now, in my defense, it was back when it was the tank controls. So I haven't played any of the updated ones and nothing like that. I just never got on that train. Like, the game looks fantastic, don't get me wrong, but it's just not the game for me.
Did you ever play Resident Evil 4?
That's the best one to me, but
I don't know. We got one for Plus, and I played like the first 2 chapters of it.
I think that was 5. Didn't they do 5 and 6 on Plus, or no? They did 5. I think it was 5 they did on Plus. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, I don't think 4 ever went to Plus, but I mean, it's like $20, and it's one of the greatest games ever.
Yeah,
so you need to play it.
I mean,
it's good.
I mean, I'm not opposed to giving them a shot. I just, like I said, I just never got on that train. But the train that I will be getting on is the train to Tsushima to find out who this ghost is. Ghost of Tsushima got its first gameplay trailer. Holy crap. I went from not caring about this game to I need to have this right now. Oh, my Lord, that game looks good.
We heard you guys like samurai games.
You boys like samurai?
and just it's so weird knowing this game came from a studio that gave us Sly Cooper and Infamous. To how brutal this game is.
Yeah, I mean, it looked beautiful. It looked like an oil painting. Like, the backdrops were just absolutely gorgeous. The combat was super fluid. But the only thing that was a disappointment for me was that coming out of seeing The Last of Us and how that animation was so fluid, and then going to, him sneaking around and like going across planks and stuff, looked a little stiff, a little janky to me. But that's just a different. Naughty Dog's just a different pedigree. But yeah, the combat looks awesome. Like it looks like it almost looks like Ninja Gaiden kind of, and then it becomes like Bushido Blade almost. It's really, really funky. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Tenchu.
Yeah, maybe that's Tenchu. Yeah,
it's like Tenchu meets like Bushido Blade or something. But I'm down. Like, there was this weird overabundance of samurai games there at E3. We had the announcement of Neo 2. Was that Sony?
I think
yes.
it was.
Yeah, it was. Yep.
It was like right at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Either way, we got that. We got this, and then Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
Yep.
Which I'm really excited for, and we might touch on that later. But
all right, and the next thing we have is Spider-Man got a very lengthy demo, much to the disappointment of Steven. We saw no Venom.
Got plenty of villains.
Yes, villains galore. We got Electro, we got Rhino, we got Scorpion, we got Vulture, and we got Mr. Negative, who has appeared in previous trailers. And the ending of the trailer teased the reveal of a sixth mystery villain, which, again, the speculation is maybe it wasn't a villain, maybe it was somebody to come help Spider-Man. And I love the initial responses, oh, it's Iron Man.
No.
But I mean, this game looks fantastic. Fantastic. I'm we talked about Kingdom Hearts for a second there. We mentioned it before. Kingdom Hearts got its own PlayStation 4 Pro. I'm very surprised we didn't get a reveal of the Spider-Man PlayStation 4. Like, are we not getting one now, or what's going on there?
There's plenty more conferences. I think they still have more to show us about Spider-Man, I'm sure. Yeah, we're definitely getting one. There's no doubt in my mind. It has to happen. But it looks like, I think the best part about the game is that it looks like the combat's a lot like Arkham. Super fluid, but way, way more acrobatic, and that's just fantastic. Oh my god. I cannot wait. One
thing that I'm worried about with this game, which, not from the trailer, because the trailer showed it to be fluid. One of my things that I've never liked about the Spider-Man games is the swinging. Like, it never felt smooth for me. Now granted, this was a action sequence where I'm sure it was a lot of quick time events, but the swing looks fluid in this.
Yeah,
So,
it looks seamless. It looks very Sunset Overdrive.
So, all right. Now, that was the four main that they said they were going to talk about. Some other things we talked about, which I didn't see this because I shut it off, and then they showed this in the post show. Dave Racine, the trailer, according to IGN, the trailer didn't reveal much, but Sony did provide a description. It says, as quote, as a spirit summoned by a young girl in a secluded boarding school, the player must prove its existence and build a unique bond with the students through clever interactions. As the mystery of the story unfolds, the spirit must use its ability to manipulate the forces of life and time and change the fate of the pupils, end quote. Now, if anybody doesn't know what the word "dericine" means, and I didn't either, it means uprooted or replaced.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they show what the hell was that game where you're almost like it almost looked like Infamous?
Control.
We're gonna go into.
Was that on Sony?
That was on Sony too.
Oh,
We're gonna go into that. But I'm just going in the order that IGN put this in because that's where we're getting the recaps from.
Oh, okay.
As Frosty said, Neo 2 was announced. No details were revealed other than a quick surprise teaser. We don't know anything else about that.
It's Samurai Dark Souls, and it's hard as hell. Part 2.
As Steven just said, Control, a new game from the Max Payne developer, has been revealed. Remedy Entertainment's codename P7 was revealed as a game called Control. A lot of people are saying, like Steven, that it looks a lot like Infamous, and a lot of people are saying that it looks a lot like Quantum Break.
Yeah, Quantum Break for sure. Same people, right? That's Quantum Break?
I
think that was Remedy.
Let me do a quick Google, but I do believe you're right.
Yeah, man. I mean, it looks great. I don't know if it's an exclusive situation, but the more the merrier, I always say.
Quantum Break did make Remedy did make Quantum Break.
Yeah, it looks like they kind of took that idea and they cranked it to 11.
All right. The next thing we have is Kingdom Hearts 3 got a Pirates of the Caribbean world announced.
I got a Disney boner.
And I'm gonna say that did sound a lot like Johnny Depp.
Yeah, it did.
So, like, is he coming to do the voice? Or are they just taking snippets from a movie, or what are they doing?
It's an impersonator. There's a lot of them out there that are very, very convincing.
And like I said, the PlayStation 4 Pro Kingdom Hearts 3 Limited Edition was also announced. Oh, boy.
They have like $250 special edition coming with that game?
Yeah, it comes with 3 statues, and I already pre-ordered it.
Does it come with better voice acting?
Oh, my Lord.
Sora's voice was terrible. It's awful.
Oh,
and I stand by that.
Even some of the Disney characters are terrible, like Elsa, the Rapunzel.
Elsa sounded normal.
You're a real snowman.
Yeah, no, it didn't sound very good. But you know what? That could have also been the dub. Like the no sound effects. It was weird.
Yeah. If there's a Japanese option, I am switching.
All right, the next thing we have is Trover Saves the Universe was revealed for the PlayStation VR. Not much to say about that. It's coming in 2019. God of War is adding a new Game Plus mode. That will come down later in the future. Black Ops 1 and 2 maps are coming to Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. And Destiny 2 Forsaken gameplay and the release date has been revealed. It's coming September 4th.
And they announced Black Ops 3 is free on PS Plus, a bonus
Yes, they
game.
did.
Yep.
And I downloaded that. It's actually downloading right now. All right, so that is the Sony conference. Now, in general, before we move on to the other conferences and how it relates to Sony, overall, just give me an overall impression. What did you guys think of the Sony conference? Were you disappointed? Were you satisfied? Were you, did you get what you expected? Or, just give me your overall impressions. Frosty, you go first.
To hear that From Software has teamed up with Activision to put out Sekiro made me happy. To hear that From Software teamed up with Studio Japan, who made Bloodborne, to make a VR game that's not Bloodborne 2, made me very sad. Other than that, overall, the Sony conference, I was actually pleased. I've been reading a lot of comments. People have been crapping on this E3 like it's like the worst thing ever, and believe me, I've seen worse. And
Nintendo.
Well, this Nintendo conference wasn't that bad. It was just 30 minutes.
No,
of
I'm talking about
Smash.
Nintendo back when they were shaking their Wii's.
Oh God,
They were
and the
playing the
Kinect.
instruments.
Every Connect.
2008 was
ever.
awful.
That's the year. Thank you.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, I was pleased. I was happy. I didn't expect gameplay footage of that caliber from Ghost of Tsushima, so I was happy to see that. I gotta admit, I did not expect a Resident Evil 2 remake to actually be there, let alone get a trailer. 2 trailers, actually. They released 2 trailers.
I didn't see
And-
the other trailer.
And a release date. I think that's what has me most excited. It said
January next year, right?
January 25th of next year, pre-order today.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'll be taking a little trip up to GameStop this weekend. So, excited about that.
GameStop? Don't you mean Amazon.com?
Touche.
If you go to provengamer.com and you click on an Amazon.com ad and do your shopping like normal, Proven Gamer gets a little kickback that helps keep the lights on the website and thus keep the mics on this podcast. And if you have Amazon Prime,
Alex a new internet.
yeah, exactly. And if you have Amazon Prime, that means you have a free Twitch Prime subscription, which you give our friend Tricky here, who seems to be our one and only consistent streamer, over on twitch.tv/provengamer. Ding! There we go. Don't have to do it later.
Steven,
Yo,
renew your Twitch Prime.
I did.
No, you didn't.
Lies.
All right, we're moving on.
Moving on.
All right, so Steven, what did you think of the Sony conference?
It was middle of the road. I think that the games that they showed were great. I just wish that there were more surprises, and I wish we got them talking a little bit more of the mechanics in some of the games, especially Death Stranding. Like, give us something. You know,
Well, you know Kojima's not going to give you anything.
I mean, just like say it's a. I mean, he said it before, but it still doesn't look that way. But like, show us action. Like, show us like some sort of user-controlled thing that is exciting. But other than that, like,
we saw climbing.
For me, it was middle of the road. It was like an 8 out of 10 type situation. Like a solid B. Yeah.
We're all going to get to the credits of Death Stranding when it comes out in 2020 or whenever. And we're going to be like, what the hell was that?
Well, it's like Steven said. Kojima said we're already playing this game.
Yeah.
That makes me worried, by the way, just so you know.
What the fuck does that mean?
All right, so let's
It's really
continue.
short.
I mean, overall, I thought the Sony conference was good. I mean, they told us what we were going to get. We got it. We got a little bit more. I can't be upset about it. I mean, outside of the reveals, because a lot of people were talking about how Sony only showed off 7 games. Microsoft showed off 50 games. Like, it's to me, and I know that I'm going to sound like a total Sony fanboy here. It's not about how many games. It's about the quality of the games. It's not about the quantity. It's about the quality. And Sony has been knocking it out of the park with every game they're making.
Yeah, but my counter argument to that is that it's optics. So yeah, they're pumping out these awesome first party games, which you can't say the same for Microsoft. But the thing that Microsoft did do is they did have Halo, they did have Gears, and which we'll touch on later. But like 85% of the games they showed are going to come to PlayStation 4 anyway. So like, Sony could have taken some wind out of their sail by saying, hey, remember all those games you were so excited about that Microsoft showed with their exclusive or debut or whatever the hell, world premiere. Like,
World premiere.
yeah, all that shit. Yeah, we didn't want to bother putting that in our thing because we want to show you games that,
Actually matter.
The games you actually care about, but they can't say that because they'll be shitting on their third parties. But they could have done like a sizzle reel in the middle and saying, hey, all those games over there, they're coming to PS4 too, and like just show a little sizzle of those games. That's where it was a miss for me, is that optically the Sony Xbox or the Microsoft Xbox people and the Sony fanboys like, yeah, but it's the big 4 was amazing, and they're like, yeah, but we got 50 games. Like, shut up, you got 6 games, okay? 45 of those games are coming to the PlayStation 4, so chill.
See, like before we actually get into the Microsoft conference, I just like I've said this in previous years. I'm gonna say it again. I hate when they do exclusive because not one of their games is exclusive to Xbox. Every game they make goes to the PC as well, so you can play it on PC. You don't need to own an Xbox One. I'm sorry, that's just a fact. But what also pisses me off is like we're gonna get into the conference, but they also showed PUBG, and they started that trailer by saying console exclusive.
Right.
So basically, they just admitted that it's coming to the PlayStation 4 because it's console exclusive. Like, otherwise, why would you say that?
I don't know.
So at this time, we're gonna move on. But before we move on, let me say, Alex did just try to come back. We're gonna have to cut that out of the show. Unfortunately, Alex is having internet issues in which he cannot. I'm sure his recording would be fine, but we can't hear him. Therefore, we can't have a conversation with him. So we're going to move on. Now, as I said, we're going to go into the other conferences, but we're only going to touch on how it's Sony related. First things, Microsoft came out. They said they're doing 50 games, 17 exclusives, which is bullshit, and blah, 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 blah. The one thing they showed, and this is extreme out of order, just so you guys know. We saw a trailer for Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes.
Yeah, buddy.
And it's so cool how they did it. Like, hats off to them how they did it. I loved it. Like the whole hack or whatever. When they hacked the show.
Let me tell you something about the hack. It may be too late for you guys right now, but you notice when they were doing the hack, there was a line of code.
Yes.
Yep.
The code in the trailer is actual keys to download The Witcher 3 full game.
That's
You
cool.
mess with me.
So if you go in and watch the trailer, you put the code in, you can get The Witcher 3 for free.
That's freaking cool.
Now, a few details were revealed in the trailer, but it did give a closer look at the city, and as well as its colorful residents, but we really don't have much more to that. They also did give us a show of Fallout 76, but we're going to get into that when we get into the Bethesda conference. We saw some Division 2 gameplay. Again, we'll go into that back when we get over to the Ubisoft. Devil May Cry 5 was revealed.
Yes.
It's coming.
That belonged on Sony stage.
It's coming Q2 2019. There was a trailer. It's been 10 years since Devil May Cry 4 came out, and it's been 5 years since DMC came out.
God, no, really?
Yeah, it came out in 2013. As Frosty, you alluded to before, Dark Souls developer reveals Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. From Software revealed this new game in which it teased back in the pre-show of the Game Awards 2017, and it's coming in 2019. Like I said, we got a trailer from it. It is developed by From Software and published by Activision, and it's set in feudal Japan and looks very similar to the Tenchu series. One little detail that we have is that you play as a ninja with a grappling hook and a prosthetic arm, which was the strange device shown in its initial teaser trailer.
I keep hearing that. It looks nothing like Tenchu, by the way.
I'm just reading what IGN says.
I think
Just
they're
'cause-
confused with all the other samurai games.
Yeah. Well,
Just-
something I read, too, is this game's not going to be like Dark. Like, it's not going to have the Dark Souls elements in this game. It's going to be different.
It's not gonna be hard as hell.
Well, I'm not saying that. But,
Just Cause 4 was revealed, thanks to Walmart Canada for that. Dying Light 2 was revealed. We got our first look at Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which we're going to go into.
oh, yeah. I hope it's not a year exclusive.
Now, I only want to touch on this only because of the fact that this was a mic drop moment for Microsoft. Microsoft has acquired new studio and forms a new one. Microsoft went on a little shopping spree here, and they bought the Forza Horizon developer Playground Games, the State of Decay developer Undead Labs, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice Ninja Theory was bought by them.
That was the biggest blow to me.
We Happy Few developer Compulsion Games. And according to Phil Spencer, Playground Games is bringing its open world expertise to an entirely new project. In addition to these 4 studios, Microsoft is also forming a new studio in Santa Monica called The Initiative.
Yeah,
So-
that to me was their biggest. You could
Ninja Theory?
show me 15 Halo games, and they did show us 3 Gears games, for God's sakes. But this to me was the biggest blow of the conference to my fragile Sony fanboyism. I really like Ninja Theory. I've always liked what they were able to do. So for me, like your game, Sony, like go out there and buy somebody, quick, like.
Well,
Pronto.
here's my question. Senua's Sacrifice was exclusive to Sony, right?
No, it's on Xbox.
It's on Xbox, yeah.
Was it?
It just came out on Xbox like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
But it was
a
exclusive.
It was a timed exclusive.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
that's
the
what-
Nintendo Switch. Not really.
All right,
I wish.
so
That'd be cool.
like I said, they also showed PUBG getting a snowy map, Q4 of this year. Metro Exodus release date was revealed. That's February 22nd of next year, which I gotta say, February 22nd right now is building up to be a big day for
Yeah,
gaming.
fuck that
Yes.
day, man.
People are because that's also when Anthem and Days Gone is coming out.
Oh my gosh. The trailer for Metro, though, was so good. And they played Massive Attack Angel. Oh my gosh. Such a good song.
Okay, Kingdom Hearts 3 got. They showed us a trailer there, showing us the Frozen world, and in a big FU moment, which I kind of wanted, and this is not Sony related, but Battletoads is coming back.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
buddy.
Let's see what else here. Microsoft is getting near Automata Become Gods Edition. That's coming later this month on June 26th. And that's all for the Microsoft one as it relates
Well,
to.
no, that
Sony.
not. There was one more.
Oh, what'd I miss?
This is the reason why this pertains to Sony is because of timing. But they did say that they are working on multiple next gen consoles. Multiple.
okay, yeah.
Listen.
Well,
that's
hold on,
the
hold on.
first,
They didn't
that's
say
the first arrow across the bow. You know what I mean?
they didn't say multiple consoles. He just said consoles,
Right. Which is
which a lot of
plural.
people are interpreting meaning there's going to be more.
Uh-huh.
What I heard when he said it was, we're making another console.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
man.
he didn't, and it was his way of saying this is not going to be the last console we make.
And the other thing that they mentioned was that they're working on streaming technology, so you could play any Xbox game on any device, like a phone, a tablet, or which they're doing already. but-
PlayStation Vita.
yeah, the Vita, the Switch, the Zune, your toaster. You're going to be able to play Xbox games on any device.
And Fortnite will run on all of them.
I got to tell you this because I know we're jumping into the later into the show, but during the Bethesda conference, they did a joke trailer in which they put Skyrim on Alexa.
Yep.
It's not a joke.
Yeah, I want that game.
Skyrim is actually on the Alexa.
Wow.
Yeah, I need to play.
I-
I need to play that.
I thought it was a joke, but I saw somebody actually playing it. All right, so the next conference we're going to talk about is the Nintendo press conference. Woo! Obviously, this is not going to relate to Sony too much, but because Steven is a part of a Nintendo podcast, I figured I'd give him a chance to show his fanboyism real quick.
All right.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, every character
Bonner.
of every game.
Oh yeah. And then some.
Fortnite is coming to the Switch today.
I already have it downloaded.
Super Mario Party, which is a game that's banned in my house, it will not be in this
I
house.
cannot wait for that game.
What
was the release date on that? That's coming out soon, right? Or no?
Mario Party?
Yeah. Is that October?
This article doesn't say so, but
I think they said October 5th.
I think so. I think Mew has been revealed for Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I'm only bringing that up because my sweet mama D has already told me that
Mew comes with the Pokeball. The Pokeball Plus.
The Pokeball.
He's inside, or he or she is inside the Pokeball from the get-go.
Another reason for Frosty to buy a Switch, Dragon Ball Fighter Z is coming to the Switch.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Fighters. Can't wait.
That's cool.
Overcooked Hollow Knight and Killer Queen.
Overcooked 2.
Overcooked 2, I'm sorry.
Which is a game that will not be in my house because my wife and I just fight every time we play that game.
Yeah. That's the reason why Mario Party's not allowed in my house. I've learned that game causes divorces. All right, so the next conference we're going to talk about is the Ubisoft press conference. Now, I want to say something, and this is going to be a hot take.
Hot takes with Tricky Mick.
Ubisoft is my favorite developer.
Then say their name right.
Oh my! You're gonna be one of them snobs. How do you say it, sir?
It stands for Ubiquitous Software, so it's Ubisoft. Ubiquitous Software.
I said Ubisoft.
You say Ubi. It's not ubiquitous. It's ubiquitous. Like you, as in the person that's not me. It's you.
Okay.
Ubisoft.
All right. Just go stand in your corner now.
I'm literally in a corner right now. I can't go any further in a corner.
All right. While I think Naughty Dogs puts out better quality games, I think Ubisoft is my favorite developer just because they put out so many games that I do like.
Yeah, those games are like tricky as fuck. Like question marks on a map, streaming for 8 straight hours, just knocking off side quests and getting outposts and whatnot. That's like your game.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey is officially revealed.
That game looks cool. I haven't been excited about Assassin's Creed game in a while, and that game looks pretty cool.
I'm gonna tell you this because of the goddess who is Greek. She saw this and she was like, "We're getting this day one." I was like, "Of course we are." She goes, "No, we're getting this day one." Because
Opa.
Well, because the funny thing is as I'm playing Origins, and Steven, you know this, I don't know if you realize it. There's oftentimes like a side character or during a cutscene, somebody starts speaking Greek.
Right.
And when me and the goddess get into arguments, she often calls me a Malaka.
Right. Makes sense.
Which I never knew what that meant. Now, because of Origins, I know what it means.
You gonna learn today.
So, yeah, the goddess is actually behind me going, it means jerk off. So, yeah, you get to play as either a male or female character, Alexios or Cassandra.
I'm not sure.
Wow, Alexa is on fire today.
I gotta learn to press the.
That's a good band.
I gotta learn to hit the button before I start recording. Both of whom wield the broken spear of Leonidas, even though they said it differently in the game. I'm saying Leonidas because of 300. And for the first time in Assassin's Creed game, dialogue options help shape interactions and come with their own consequences.
That's exciting.
So revolutionary.
But
yeah, welcome to 2008.
But see, that makes me that makes me worry only because when there's dialogue options like that, I always feel like I'm missing a part of the game. Like I'm not seeing something I should be seeing. Which I know is a first world problem, by the way.
Super personal.
All right. The next thing we have is Jade has returned in Beyond Good and Evil 2. We got a trailer. Pre-alpha gameplay was shown. Not too excited. I wasn't a fan of the first game, but gentlemen, are you excited about Beyond Good and Evil 2?
Never played the first one.
Yeah, me either.
I wasn't too excited about this one because I was like, well, I never played the first one, and this just seems like a little bit of overhype. But that trailer looked really good. It looks like they are really spending their time to shape this into something good. But we got to see gameplay, Like,
Well, we did see-
cinematics are great. But
We did see gameplay.
I didn't. So
Oh, well, you got to go back and watch the trailer then. Speaking of trailers, this gave me the second biggest e-boner of the conference. Division 2 gets new trailers. Raids were announced, and we saw gameplay. Perhaps the biggest announcement is the addition of Raids, which will allow up to 8 players to partner up and face huge endgame challenges. The Division 2 will also get 3 episodic DLCs in which each one has a new story, new areas to explore, and new activities, and they will all be free. So that's cool. Go ahead, Frosty.
well, Rage 2 looks cool. Well, I played the first one.
Rage
Beat it.
2?
Oh, he's talking about
Yeah.
Division 2. Oh, he said Raids.
Oh, Raids. I thought you
I
said
thought you
Rage.
said Rage. My bad. Continue.
You
I
did
will
say...
I will say Division 2 has piqued my interest. That was actually one of the surprises of the show, was seeing the trailer for Division and actually getting me interested. So I might be checking it out.
You got to play the first one.
I played a little bit. Very, very small.
Yeah, but
amount
see,
of Division.
like, I will say this. Like, I don't say this much about games. I played the Division when it first came out. It's entirely 100% better now with all the upgrades, improvements.
Sure.
They
I mean,
did.
so is Siege. So
Yeah, and Siege is now fucking surging like a mofo.
yes.
Next thing we got was Skull and Bones got a cinematic trailer.
Game looks fantastic.
I want to be excited for it, but as I said in my live tweeting, it looks like Black Flag 1.5, and that it's only online and not a single player game. It's turned me off on it. That's coming in 2019. For Honor, March and Fire has been announced, a new expansion. Looks pretty cool. Brings in 4 new fighters. Starlink Battle for Atlantis was shown, and we got a surprise announcement there, Steven. You want to tell us what this surprise announcement was?
Oh, yeah. Fox McCloud coming to the Switch version of Starlink. Yeah, so there's an exclusive Fox McCloud from Star Fox toy that unlocks him in the game with some special missions and whatnot for the Switch version of the game, which also looks great, and maybe for once in our lives we'll have a good Star Fox game made after 1998.
Yeah.
And maybe people start caring about Toys to Life again.
That's not going to happen, Tricky. That is not going to happen.
I literally I said that on Twitter. I said I believe that Ubisoft is sending this out to die with Toys to Life, and then they showed the Star Fox tie-in. I was like, well, I take back my previous statement.
Nintendo's money can save this for probably 2 years, I would say. It could probably support it for 2 years, like the toys. I think what they should really do with these Toys to Life things is do a subscription. Like, do like a $20 a month subscription, have the game be free, do a $20 a month subscription, and then do like a loot box that every month you get a loot box to your house, you open it, and it's like blind bags of different toys that work with the game. And if you want to buy extra, you could buy it on the website. You don't have to have them in stores, on store shelves. You could just go on Amazon or provengamer.com and click on an Amazon ad and buy them right there. That's what they should be doing, because that will make collectability a big thing. If they're all blind bags, the secondary market would be huge too, and that'll keep the game going. But what do I know? What do I know? What am I, the police? What do I know?
You know that's not a bad idea. But what is a bad idea is a new Trials game. Trials Rising was revealed. It's coming February 2019 to Xbox One, PC, PlayStation 4, and for the first time ever, the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, those games.
Available today.
Those games aren't terrible, but I could see your reservations. They're not for everyone.
I just okay.
I just want to play it for 20 minutes and crash my man.
That's basically all somebody does is plays for 20 minutes, goes crash, 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 crash. All right, this game's not for me.
Yeah, I wasn't excited till they showed the little teaser at the end, and I was like, okay, I'm buying it.
Mario vs. Rabbids Kingdom Battle Donkey Kong Adventures coming later this month on the 26th.
Very
Okay.
excited.
VR Horror Transference gets a trailer and release window. This is the game being made by Elijah Wood. Well, not just him, but he's heading up the studio that's making it.
That game looks trippy.
The Crew 2 is getting an open beta coming later this month. You can download it now as we're talking. It comes out on June 21st. The game is due out on June 29th, so 8 days after the beta. Of course, Just Dance 2019 was revealed.
Awkwardly as fuck.
And Rainbow Six Siege tournament dates were announced. Besides the news that Rainbow Six Siege now has 35 million players.
Fantastic.
3 upcoming Rainbow Six Siege events were announced in Paris Major in August, the Pro League Finals in November, and the 6th Invitational in February 2019. A Rainbow Six Siege documentary called Another Mindset was also announced. All right.
Yeah, they had one hell of a conference. They did. You can't deny it.
Ubisoft always brings the good. The only disappointment is no Aisha Taylor.
True.
They always bring good stuff and cringy stuff.
Okay, let's move on to the Bethesda conference. Stemming from another leak from Walmart Canada. By the way, somebody do me a favor. Steven, look up the Walmart Canada leak. And I want to, when we go to our topic of the week, I want to see how many games actually from Walmart Canada actually got announced.
Okay.
Rage 2 got a gameplay trailer and a release window. It's going to be coming in spring 2019. There was also a collector's edition announced.
Okay, we are talking about Rage now, right?
We are talking about Rage now, yes.
Okay. I played the first Rage. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like some critical darling, right? And I never would have in a million years thought we'd get a sequel. Now we have one. But I kind of feel like the gameplay looks cool, but I really feel like they're piggybacking off of the Doom engine. Because if you really watch it, like it's got that really fast pace, like, you know, you strafe this way, kill this dude, you dash in, hit this guy, and it's like it's just all this crazy stuff going on. It's super hyper brutal. But, you know, of course, it's a completely different story and different character, yada, yada, yada. But I don't know, like, I'm kind of indifferent about it, you know? Like, it does look cool. You have vehicle combat, that's cool. And it's definitely going to be way more open world than Doom was, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. It's not really one I'll look into getting day one or anything, but...
Yeah, I can't speak on Rage because I never played the first one, have no interest in the second one.
Right.
So, Steven, what about you? You got any Rage in you?
This definitely intrigues me more.
Really?
Yes, definitely. The gameplay looks absolutely balls to the walls, over the top, fluid, and then it also has that tricky as fuck checking off boxes feel to it as well. So I could
Had that become a tricky as fuck thing?
those are your favorite games to stream, man. Those and Lego games. Like if they made a Lego game that was open world, like Lego Assassin's Creed, I think you would die. Literally die. You would die because you wouldn't eat, and you'd be shitting in your seat the whole time. Like you wouldn't get up. Period.
Fun fact: those are the Fun fact: those are the only games he gets trophies into.
Hey, I just got a platinum in Little Venture on the Prairie.
Little what?
Good lord.
It's
All right,
a very
guys,
stupid game. All right, moving on. Elder Scrolls Legends is coming to console. Announcing that Elder Scrolls Legends will be relaunching with completely revamped visuals and is coming to Switch, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 later this year. Legends is available to download right now on PC and mobile, and progress made in Legends can be carried over to console through a Bethesda.net account. Wolf Hunter and Murkmire DLC was announced for Elder Scrolls Online. The next thing is Doom Eternal was revealed. A sequel to Doom reboot called Doom Eternal was revealed with a teaser trailer and a bigger reveal, and more information come at QuakeCon next August. Well, it says next August, but this August.
I need me some gameplay.
According to executive producer Marty Stratton and creative director Hugo Martin, Doom Eternal will feature, quote, twice as many demons, end quote, as its predecessor.
Good. I will kill them all.
That was rookie numbers.
Yes. You gotta bump those numbers up.
June 10th to the 17th, there's a free Quake Champions trial. inside joke for anybody who doesn't know what just happened. If you get in download now, you can keep playing after the free trial closes. So as you're hearing this, go download it, because even after the trial ends, you can keep playing, but only if you download it now. If you wait until the 18th, you cannot get this for free. So even if you don't want to play it in the future, even if you don't want to play it now, but there's a possibility you might want to play it in the future, go download it now. Okay. Prey is getting tons of new modes and DLC. Prey's upcoming DLC is definitely a replayable mode. Is an indefinitely replayable mode called Moon Crash. While Moon Crash is still work in progress, there's plenty of new Prey content available now. There's 3 new game modes were announced, including Story Mode, New Game Plus Mode, and Survivor Mode, all available now. Later this season, Typhon Hunter will also drop a new mode that lets one player go up against 5 other player-controlled mimics. And Typhon Hunter will be available in VR as well as single-player puzzle-based VR games set on Talos 1.
That was a really cool game.
Prey?
But I don't. Yeah, but I don't.
It doesn't get a lot of love.
It doesn't. It's super neat though, and I feel like there's so much in that game you can discover without DLC. So I don't know if I'm ready for DLC for this game yet. But
all right, Wolfenstein 2 Youngblood was revealed. A new co-op Wolfenstein 2 experience was announced called Wolfenstein Youngblood, set in Paris in the 1980s. Youngblood stars BJ. I always fuck up his name.
Blastowitz.
Thank you. Twin daughters, and allows up to 2 players to join in together. It's coming in 2019. Wolfenstein 2 is also coming to the Nintendo Switch later this month on the 29th. Steven's being excited about that just quietly.
Yes, quietly getting a boner.
New Wolfenstein and Prey VR experiences were announced. The VR experiences for Wolfenstein and Prey were announced. Prey's Typhon Hunter, like we said, will be playable in VR. And Wolfenstein's Cyber Pilot will put players in control of a hacker who could take over Nazi robots and turn them against their creators.
I think the Typhon Hunter is probably the best part, the best reveal for Prey. That's like basically hide and seek, where 3 people or 4 people, I forget how many they said, play mimics, and they can hide amongst the environment as everyday objects and try and scare the shit out of the other player while the other player is hunting them down. And that's pretty awesome. Like, I love games like that, like Friday the 13th and stuff like that. Definitely heavily inspired by those.
I will shoot glue at everything.
Yeah.
Like no one would...
There's not a coffee cup that'll survive my shotgun.
Did you? Speaking of scaring, did you guys watch the trailer?
Which one?
Did you watch the? Excuse me. Did you watch the whole conference?
Yeah.
All right. Remember the scene in which the 2 of them were sitting in front of like computers, and then they had the mimic come out, and like the guy turns around and goes, "What the fuck?" And she screams. I read somewhere that was legit. They didn't tell her that he was going to do that, and her scream was 100% real because she thought something was behind her.
That's awesome.
I loved when he stuck the sticky note on her that said "not a mimic." That was amazing. I'm gonna start doing that.
All right. So the next thing we have, Fallout 76 got a release date. Woo! Gameplay was revealed. Woo! And it's entirely online.
Oh.
Mamma mia.
Showing off...
do you remember back in the old wrestling games where they had the stamina bar, and if you were Ric Flair, you would do the chops, and it would go, woo, 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 but then you would run out of stamina, and he would just like do like a half chop and then fall down to the ground. That's what that's what the Fallout 76 was to me. It was like, woo, woo, woo. Oh, man.
After showing off the same trailer... but at the Microsoft conference, Bethesda dropped a ton of new Fallout gameplay details. Most notably, it's entirely online. It's coming November 14th, and there is a special Power Armor edition, in which you can get a wearable helmet.
Sold out.
Is it really?
Yep. I was actually going to buy it. I was actually going to buy that thing and it was sold out.
Dang.
Even though it is online, Fallout 76 can be played solo, but it's in a shared open world, allows players to link up and do quests and even build and explore together. And apparently you could also destroy each other's worlds.
Yeah, so this looks like a combination of what like Fallout mixed with Rust would be, where you kind of build your little settlement. You could do mobile settlements, bring them with you, pop up settlements anywhere you go. But there's also a finite amount of nuclear warhead sites that scattered throughout the world are launch codes. There's like 5 launch codes, and you can find one and not tell anybody you have one. But if they kill you and they find it, they get a launch code. So the whole purpose is to try and get as many launch code, all the launch codes as you can, and then you could nuke either random or you just pick a spot on the map and just nuke it. And it could be like a rival player that has a huge base. If you get the
It
nuke,
could be your friend.
yeah, it could be you, like whatever you want. You just pick a spot on the map and be like, that's getting nuked. And then it launches the nuke up in space, comes down, and completely obliterates everything in its path. What I am cautiously optimistic about is how they are going to be able to do missions and stuff. Like, I'm hoping that there's still some sort of PvE gameplay, player versus environment gameplay, because he said every single human character in the game is going to be a player character. It's a real person. So
What I also, I don't want to cut you off
no.
real quick. What I also want to point out is he also said that the server you play on, you're never going to see what server you're on.
Right.
But it's not going to be 2,000 people on the same server. There may be 12 people on that server.
yeah, he said dozens, not hundreds, which is great.
So
yeah.
So being you don't have to worry about lag and your world being bogged down because somebody else has shitty internet. Oh, I mean, obviously that's always a worry, but it's not like you got to worry about servers crashing all the time. They said they have dedicated servers just for this game that are not going to be touched in any other way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I mean there's always going to be issues. Launch day there's going to be issues no matter what.
Oh, of course.
But my like I said, my major concern is like there are monsters in this world. They showed a ton of new ones that we've never seen before. Obviously, because this takes place way before all the other games, so like monsters are so weird. There was a giant sloth, which was fucking awesome, but it was they're more like grounded animals, just like bigger or mutated and stuff. But more variety, I guess, because they weren't extinct yet. But my concern is that there's not going to be missions to do. It's just going to be go out and try and get resources to build your base bigger, which is fine. But that's Rust. That's DayZ. That's like H1Z1. Like that's that. So I'm hoping it's a little bit more than just that type of game.
All right. I just remembered we didn't go over some PlayStation news, but we're going to do that after this conference is over. The next thing announced is Elder Scrolls Blades was announced, a console quality graphics on either your iOS or Android. You can pre-order it tonight, as you guys hear this. Starfield, a brand new game by Bethesda, brand new IP. We got a little quick trailer for that. Doesn't really offer anything. It was short and offered few details as possible space setting. Todd Howard described it as, quote, a game we have spent years on thinking about working on, something we feel uniquely positioned to pull off, and we're incredibly excited about it, end quote.
Here's our space game. Next.
They pulled a Metroid Prime 4.
And
Yeah.
then, in an effort to shut up the masses, Elder Scrolls 6 has officially been revealed. No other details were offered, but a very brief teaser trailer, which showed an
Sprawling landscape.
overworld look and a logo. That's it.
No, you didn't shut me up.
You're missing.
You didn't shut.
You're missing the best part, though. I'm sorry to cut you off, but you're missing the most
ahead.
important part.
What's that?
They said that they're both next-gen games.
Yeah, okay.
They said we're
Okay.
working on these for the next generation of consoles, and they said Starfield is first, and they said even after that, Elder Scrolls
Right.
6 is coming. So Starfield is looking to be like a 2022 game, and we're getting Elder Scrolls 6 in like 2025.
You're
Jesus.
breaking Frosty's heart right there.
But they had to put the logo up there because people were gonna slap somebody in the street.
Yeah. My thing is, like, there's been this oversaturation of Fallout. No offense to Fallout fans. I've never been huge into Fallout. I want to get into it.
New Vegas.
Well, that's what I hear. I hear, like, New Vegas is the way to go.
100%.
But I am a huge Elder Scrolls fan. I've played Morrowind. I played Oblivion. Oblivion was actually the first game I got on my 360. It was a graduation gift. Played the hell out of Skyrim. Who didn't?
I didn't.
I'm ready for
I didn't.
I'm
I
ready
opened
for
too
the
many
next-
doors.
I didn't play that game. I got an arrow to the knee.
Nice. I am ready for the Elder Scrolls.
How long until that joke becomes obsolete?
Never.
It'll never
As
die.
long as Bethesda's a company.
Right. So God, I've wanted something. Like, where's it gonna be? Like,
They
gameplay, something like. I don't know.
I'm convinced that the only thing done on Elder Scrolls 6 was that trailer. I don't even think they started working on the game yet. Honestly,
I think they're building the engine. I think they're building the next gen engine, and that's it.
I mean, and that's cool, but it just reminds me of, like, it's the Final Fantasy VII remake, effect.
No, because they're
or
actually making. They're
Kingdom
actually going to make
Hearts.
this one.
Good point. Yeah,
They're
yeah.
not going to scrap it three
That-
years in.
That's
and
another
then-
thing. We got no word on Final Fantasy VII remake at all.
No,
Yeah,
it's like a puff
it
of
is MIA.
smoke.
It's a lot of MIA, man.
All right, so that is going to conclude the Bethesda conference. Now, the one thing that I didn't talk about, which we're going to go into right now, is I'm doing a quick Google search, is leading up to E3, there was some games revealed. I don't remember the dates that they were done. I know we're getting Beat Saber for the VR.
Mm-hmm.
Twin Mirror from... Is it Twin Mirror?
Yes.
Twin Mirror from Dotenod, which is the people behind Life is Strange. We got a release date for Days Gone, which I said earlier was February 22nd, 2019. And we also got Tetris... Oh, what's the full name? Guys, help me out here.
I don't remember. It was a VR game though. Tetris.
Tetris Attack 2.
No, it was something else. Shit, I forgot.
I'm looking on the blog right now, trying to go through it real quick. Tetris Effect.
Effect. Yeah, that's what it was. And that's made by the guy who made Rez.
Rez and Luminous, yes.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that was the reveals. I kind of thought we were going to get like a PUBG announcement, too.
Well, about a week before E3 2, we got a DOA 6 trailer with gameplay. Dead or Alive 6.
Yep.
Right.
Pretty excited about that one, but that was MIA, nowhere to be found. Not even 2 or 3 weeks ago, we got Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. But we didn't see any of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I thought for sure we were going to get a release date. That was MIA, nowhere to be found.
They said
So
January 2019 on their kick. Yeah,
Oh.
they do Kickstarter updates, and they said that it's definitely coming out. First thing in January 2019.
I say I missed that announcement.
We also had them 505 on Nintendo dual screens, and he said it would be next year, but they confirmed like 2 weeks after that it's going to be January. And a little sneak peek, he's coming back on the show next week, so maybe we'll have some more information.
Stop plugging your show.
Nintendo dual screens, you can find it anywhere podcasts are found.
All right, let's move on to the two cringeworthy conferences that happened.
Ugh, do we have to?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, actually, only one of them was really cringeworthy. The other one just was short.
Konami wasn't there.
All right, the EA press conference.
This was a fart.
Battlefield 5 teased a Battle Royale mode. I'm actually surprised we've gotten this long in the show without saying Battle Royale.
We did say Fortnite.
Yeah. Well,
No,
Fortnite's already out.
You did say you did. Wait, what did you say Battle Royale for? You did. I swear to Bob, you did. There was another game that said there was a Battle Royale mode.
Battlefield.
No, it was before that.
I just said Battlefield.
No, it was way before that. Whatever, it'll come to me. Continue.
PUBG?
No.
Okay. So EA started out the press conference with Battlefield 5 Battle Royale tease. Yeah. That's it.
That was it.
I mean,
Yeah, that
we
was
really
literally it.
didn't get much more than that.
We got tanks and shit.
Yeah. FIFA 19 was revealed with the release date coming September 28th. It has the the single player campaign mode and Champions League mode has been added to this year's game. EA announced Origin Access Premier, which is going to be a PC subscription service. Origin Access Premier costs $15 a month or $100 a year, and the service seems great on paper. But IGN says they have some fears over what it means for the future of video game preservation. You dive in to find out exactly what Premiere is. I did not do that prior to the show because it did not interest me at all.
EA's ruining gaming even further.
Respawn CEO Vince Zampella teased Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It's set during the dark times in which the Jedi were hunted. If you guys don't remember, this is the game that was taken over after the Amy Hennig Star Wars game was canceled. So Respawn has taken over that.
Was Jar Jar Abrams directing this one too?
According to Zampella, Jedi Fallen Order takes place between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope and can be expected near the end of 2019. So we're a good year and a half away from this game. Star Wars 2 Battlefront Clone Wars content was revealed. The next content season will focus on the Clone Wars. It will bring a new map, including the largest level ever featured in Battlefront. New playable heroes, including Obi-Wan, General Grievous, Anakin, and Count Dooku. They also came out and issued a heartfelt statement regarding the Battlefront 2 loot box controversy. They did acknowledge that we fucked up. So.
Basically, yes.
Their exact words.
Well, he said, I think his exact words, we didn't get it right, and we're and that they're on track to make up for it. And then a twerp you moment to Jeff Hanna. Unravel 2 was announced and released on the same day.
Yep.
So when I asked Jeff Hanna, would a company ever do this, come out with a high-profile game and just say it's available right now? He said no. Well, it happened.
0 points.
That was going to be one of my predictions this year. Just so you know. And the next EA Originals game, Sea of Solitude, is coming early 2019. Developed by Joe May, Sea of Solitude is an exploration-focused adventure game set in a submerged city, and it was first announced in 2016, although I don't remember that.
Neither do I.
NBA Live 19 release date has been announced, September 7th. Why do we care? Because everybody's going to be playing 2K anyway.
Ain't that the truth?
Madden NFL 19 was revealed. It's coming August 10th. Command and Conquer Rivals was revealed for the iOS and Android. It is a competitive mobile-based RTS featuring 1v1 battles. Android users can register for the pre-alpha now.
That made a lot of Command and Conquer nerds really mad.
Oh, yeah, it did.
And Anthem release date is announced, and it will not have loot boxes.
Yay.
Anthem is also coming February 22nd. A new cinematic trailer and gameplay demo were shown off during EA's press conference, featuring more Javelin exosuit action, combat, and more. 3 members of the Anthem team teams took stage to confirm that Anthem will not have loot boxes and no, quote, pay-to-win feature.
Yay.
I'm not as hyped on Anthem as everybody else, but game does look cool.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Oh, it made my dick into a javelin.
Nice tie back there.
To the joust.
All right, so that is done for EA. Now, for the why the hell did we even watch this press conference? Wasn't even a conference. It was a 30-minute video. Square Enix. And I put it in the agenda. The show was so bad, IGN didn't even bother doing a page to recap it, so I just wrote down the games that they announced.
Okay, that's bad.
Yeah. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. We saw some action in that. Looks pretty cool.
Amazing.
Don't need to see any more of it. Just give me the damn game already. Final Fantasy 14 Stormblood expansion's coming. Also, Steven,
Yeah.
your little pee-pee got hard when they announced that Monster Hunter World is combining with Final Fantasy 14, didn't it?
You would think, wouldn't you?
Oh no.
I mean, yeah, I mean it's great, but I don't play Final Fantasy 14, so I used to. I played it for like 2 weeks, but I couldn't play by myself anymore, and I had no friends. I continue to. I still don't have any friends.
I heard you play with yourself every night.
You're very. It's accurate.
That will end an MMO career, not having friends.
Yes.
I think the collab between Capcom and Square is pretty cool, but as soon as they announced this, I'm like, okay, now we've got to get the Capcom versus Square Enix.
That'd be nice.
That would be a hell of a crossover.
Another game being made by Life is Strange developers Don't Nod, The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit.
That game looks awesome.
It does look pretty cool.
Dragon Quest XI. Babylon's Fall. Octopath Traveler.
Yes.
Sexy.
Just Cause 4. We saw yet another trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Jesus.
And the game that I was most impressed by in this conference, The Quiet Man.
Yeah, it looks
That
interesting.
game did look cool.
Don't know what it is, but it looks cool.
Death Stranding DLC.
All right, so at this time, we would normally throw it over to Sid for this week's Sophie's Trophy, but he did send us one because we delayed 350, and the one we have is for 350, so we don't have a Sophie's Trophy.
Tis okay.
But that's our fault, not Sid's. That's our fault, not Sid's. Don't blame him. All right, so what's hot in gaming? Alex isn't here to do this, but I'm just going to assume everything they announced at E3.
That makes sense.
That's the hottest thing in gaming right now, E3. All right, so our topic of the week, we were originally going to redo our predictions recap, but Steven's feeling a little salty because he didn't win again.
Oh, after you get all your points taken away, I'm the de facto winner. So
You know what? You said in the Skype chat we should skip it, but you keep going at this. I'm gonna do them.
we're going to skip it, but people have heard our predictions. So just a sneak peek of the arguing that's going to happen when we have like 6 or 7 people in episode 350. The argument is going to be that the rest of the trophy whores actually let me predict something that was already out and didn't tell me. Twice.
But we didn't know when you did it.
Well, once it was already out, and the other one it was already confirmed that it wasn't coming. You let me do that twice.
I didn't know it wasn't coming.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
You know what? Let's just do this real quick. Okay? Let's just do this real quick.
Uh-huh.
Frosty, you listened to episode 349, correct?
Sure.
Yes, he did.
Don't lie. All right.
Yes.
So what Steven's referring to is that we let him predict that Fallout 4 VR was coming, not realizing that it was actually already released back in
months.
January of 2017.
For fucking months.
Oh my god.
And I had no idea because I don't own VR, and so I haven't been paying attention to anything VR related. Period.
And the other thing is, Steven's salty because he predicted that Venom would be revealed as a villain for Spider-Man, not knowing that an obscure Reddit post confirmed that it was not going to be happening.
No, it was a Reddit post
Jesus.
that was a quote from one of the developers when they did that stream with Greg Miller. Remember when he was trying to get them to tell him the release date? They confirmed it right there. We're not doing Symbiote and we're not doing Venom. We're not doing Carnage. We're not doing any of those guys.
And I did not know that.
Yeah, well, the internet knew it, and apparently I didn't know it. So that was another bullshit thing. And the other bullshit thing, it was bullshit, but actually you did try to warn me, was that Borderlands 3 was confirmed not to be there, but I thought they were gonna show it anyway.
Just be salty you lost. Because right now, just a sneak peek, we're gonna have some appeals going on because right now, as the points stand, there's a tie for the win.
Here's a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And this really went under my radar, and it didn't even click until today when I was writing down notes. What the hell was Red Dead Redemption 2?
Well, Rockstar never goes to E3.
They did
Never.
They did exactly what they're supposed to do. Nothing. Don't show us a damn thing until that game's ready to come out.
I just imagine them all working in a giant closet. like lock the doors, no sunlight.
All right, since Steven's being salty about his E3 predictions, we're going to change our topic of the week as to what I said that I want Steven to do. Steven, how accurate was Walmart Canada?
Pretty fucking accurate, Tricky. Except for Borderlands 3. Go figure.
Was anything on there not announced?
At least not to my recollection. Let me see. I had an image. Oh, here it is. Okay, come on. All right. So I don't remember them showing anything WWE 2K19.
Well, we knew that was coming.
We know it's coming, but there wasn't there. So Dragon Quest 2, which was actually Dragon Quest 11, but that's just because it was 2 sticks, so they probably just read that as the number 2.
Okay.
So that one. Metroid Prime 4.
We know it's coming already.
We know it's coming, but they had a pre-order. They put up pre-orders for it, for God's sakes. Destiny Comet for Xbox.
Well, Destiny did get announced a new DLC, but it wasn't called Comet. That Comet could have just been the code name for it.
It could have been. I was thinking it might have been something else. So Rage 2, yes. Insurgency Sandstorm.
Nope.
I have no idea what that was.
That sounds made up.
It's just a bunch of words. Borderlands 3 was one of them. Gears of War 5, Splinter Cell, Forza Horizon 5.
No Splinter Cell was announced.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And for Forza Horizon 5 wasn't announced, but 4 was announced. But we assumed that was a typo when they put that up there.
Right. We got Tom Clancy's Division 2.
We knew that.
NBA 2K19, we knew that. And then just Assassin's Creed, which obviously became
Odyssey.
What else? Rage 2, obviously that was a big one. Beyond Good and Evil 2. Beyond Good and Evil 2 for PlayStation. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Nothing on that. But we already knew that was coming.
Bigfoot.
Yeah. Just Cause 4.
That got confirmed.
And that's it.
There was a Hitman on that list?
Nope.
No.
Because Hitman 2 was announced. And
I bet you that's what they meant by Splinter Cell. I always get those two.
So I mean, they're fairly accurate.
Yeah.
All right. So overall, guys, E3, good, bad, indifferent.
Let's rank the conferences.
You really want to do that?
I do. I want to have a little debate, a little spirited debate. Listen, you told me this was going to be over 2 hours. We're approaching that 2 hour mark. Let's hit this out of the park.
All right. I think we could all agree Square Enix was the worst.
I disagree.
Ooh.
EA was by far the worst.
Yeah.
Aside from Anthem, everything they showed looked and Unravel too. Everything else was a big wet fart.
So
here's the thing. Go ahead.
I was going to say the same thing you could say for Square Enix. Square Enix was a 30-minute video which showed us everything that we already knew about.
But they
with the
didn't waste
exception
our
of-
time.
They did waste our time.
No, because it was only a
They
half
gave
an hour.
us nothing. They gave us nothing new and showed us nothing other than a quick trailer for The Quiet Man and some gameplay for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. The only thing in there that was surprising was the Monster Hunter World crossover and The Quiet Man. They gave us no,
and
oof,
and
no explosion, no nothing.
wasn't the superhero kid one? Wasn't that there?
The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit.
Yeah, wasn't that the first look?
Yeah,
Was
that was
conference?
a Square Enix, but we seen that in other ones too.
I wasn't sure if we saw that in other ones first, or if it was Square Enix's thing first.
Well, we saw it first at Square Enix, but we
Right.
saw it in other conferences.
Yeah, but that's still not a waste of your time if that was in the 30 minutes. I think they did exactly what they were supposed to do. I don't think they need to do a video like this. I think it's out of place. But with that being said, it was still it was a cool thing. I mean, they were in, they were out. They didn't waste your time. They didn't make you sit down for 2 hours and they didn't have a 15-minute intermission between the first and second game. They just kind of went one after the other. They showed plenty of Tomb Raider, which got my mouth watering again. Made me want to go back and finish Rise of the Tomb Raider. Yeah, I just think that they didn't have a ton to show, but what they showed really well, and they gave us some surprises.
All right. So let's. There are 7 conferences. So Steven, looking over the conferences, in what order would you put them, being worst to first?
I would say it was EA, then Square Enix, then probably. Oh, we're not counting Devolver, right?
We're not counting Devolver. We're not counting PC.
PC, okay.
Out of the 7 conferences we talked about.
Right. I would say after that would probably be. Not to be, I hate to do it, but it's got to probably be Bethesda. Even though I got a huge boner for Fallout 76, I feel like everything else was kind of meh.
Fluff.
It was, yeah, I mean, it was announcements. It's great, but they didn't show anything of Doom. They didn't show it nearly enough of Wolfenstein. What the hell was that? I forgot what it was subtitled. So yeah, I would probably put Bethesda, then Ubisoft next, and then I would probably put Sony, and then I would put Microsoft, and then Nintendo.
So you saying Nintendo had the best conference?
I think so. I think they showed more in depth of the games that we were most curious about, the ones that we wanted. It was almost. It would have been neck and neck with Sony had Sony not screwed up their pacing, but also like if Sony did what Nintendo did, where they did a breakdown of mechanics of the games that we were excited for, I feel like that would have raised my interest in Sony's conference.
Yeah.
Just purely, I mean Mario Party coming back. Just the Smash breakdown, all the characters, all of them are new, or like they all have new fighting styles.
My problem. I'm sorry.
No, it's all
my
right.
problem. My problem with the Nintendo conference. I appreciate that they gave us a deep look into Smash Brothers, but I feel like they went on too long with it. Like they didn't need to go so in depth onto it. The character reveal, awesome. Stage reveals, awesome. But to give us a breakdown on every character and what their super is, or what their final smash is, I think they went too deep into it.
See, the reason why I think that was smart of them was because now you have to think they're going to do probably 1 or 2 directs before this game comes out in December. But that was the other thing. They gave us a release date. But before this game comes out in December, they're probably going to do 2 more directs that are just going to be Smash directs. And they got all of that shit out of the way already. So,
But don't you think that deep dive should have been in the directs?
well, that's what's intriguing is that these directs now are going to be their bar is going to be set very high because you already told us all of the other stuff. So it's got to be new character reveals. It's got to be new stages. It's got to be, online modes. It's got to be the single player mode. They're going to have more to show on this game, but they got all of that technical stuff, and they put to bed. Finally, they put it to rest. They brought Old Yeller in the back and shot it in the head with this old argument of if it's a port or if it's a new game. They put it to bed. It's a new game. This is basically from the ground up. Every character is plays differently now. It's just that is what Sony like. You're not a big Smash person, but to the Smash fan, to the guy that loves Super Smash Brothers, this was exactly what they wanted. And
okay, I mean that's fair to say.
Yeah.
I'm just all I'm simply saying is you got the Nintendo conference. They showed us the Pokemon Go, Eevee, and Pikachu, but we didn't get any new information other than Mew was going to be in the Pokeball.
right, they did the rest afterward at the Treehouse event. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the Treehouse event.
They played the game and stuff. It looks fantastic.
But I mean, I'm buying the game obviously for Sweet Mama D because she's absolutely in truth this entire weekend. Excuse me. Ever since I picked her up and I showed her the trailer, she's been asking me like every 20 minutes, did Nintendo give any more news? Did Nintendo give any news? And I kept saying they're not going to give us any more news until Tuesday. She didn't care. She's hyped. But now I feel like the only thing I could tell her, obviously I'll go back and watch the Treehouse now, is to, that Mew's coming. But I feel like we're getting Pokemon before we're getting Smash. And I have to say, Smash not coming with the launch of the online service, I think is a mistake. Those two should have launched together.
Yeah, I mean, Smash isn't really known for its online component until the last generation. So it's not really like people do play online. Yes, it's big, but I think the biggest thing is, couch competitive, playing with your friends and 8 players being able to smash each other in the face. That I think
all right,
that and its presence at game tournaments. Cause
exactly.
Look at Evo. It's the biggest fighting game tournament in the world, and there's like 2 or 3 Smash titles there every year. I mean, Melee is still a thing. People still play Melee competitively.
Well, one thing we also didn't mention about the Nintendo conference, they confirmed that they're coming out with GameCube controllers for people to play on the Switch.
Yep.
So, and of course, they also announced that all the previous Amiibos are going to work. They're going to have new Amiibos coming, which I'm not entirely sure I'm accurate on this, so please correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe they said that they're going to release an adapter so you can use the Amiibos with the GameCube controller.
Either the GameCube controller does it itself, or yeah. But yes, they said that it will work with the Amiibo.
Okay.
In some capacity.
Right. So, Frosty, how would you rate the conferences, worst to first?
I'd probably have to put EA worst. I mean, it seems pretty unanimous at this point. They had a very boring press conference. I feel like there was like good titles to be had in their presser, but it just wasn't. I don't know. Didn't grab me. Didn't grab a lot of us. And not to mention EA's doesn't have the best relationship with gamers nowadays. So EA worst. Next, I'd have to say definitely Square Enix. I mean, it was very underwhelming for me, especially because I was really looking forward to their conference because I really thought they were going to come out swinging and announce maybe some new IPs or something. But what we got was just a lot of the same. And it's good stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, like I'm really excited about Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but we've seen it. Dragon Quest 11, we've seen that. Octopath Traveler, I mean, we've
known about that for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. They all look great, but we were kind of looking for more. I do like that the fact that it was short. I agree with Steven. Like they came out and did exactly what they needed to do. Same with Nintendo, which is why one of Sony's best conferences, I feel like, was a couple of years ago when you had Sean Layden and them come out, and they had a symphony orchestra and come out, brand new suit or whatever. You're like, hey, I'm Sean Layden. Here's my suit. Here's a game. And that was it. The best Sony conference ever.
That was the God of
So
War
EA,
one.
yes, exactly. EA, Square. Next, I'd have to say probably Bethesda. A lot of people were talking about how Bethesda killed it. I disagree, but I disagree for the simple fact that a lot of their stuff was fluff. Now, they did have some cool stuff. Like the Rage 2 gameplay was cool. The Fallout 76 gameplay was cool. I didn't think they'd actually have gameplay this fast. That was kind of cool. Unexpected. But they did announce Doom Eternal, which I'm fanboying. Really excited about that. They did announce Elder Scrolls 6, which I'm excited for. But we didn't, these games are way off. Oh, and Starfield, which is cool, but it's, now we're Death Stranding it.
It also looks like No Man's Sky, by the way.
Yeah, it's like, what is this game? Like, we appreciate what you're showing us, but we need more. We need more information. After that, probably Ubisoft. I like the games they were showing. I watched a lot of the pre-show. I don't know if you watched the pre-show, but it was like watching a reality show on MTV. Like, it was pretty cringy. It's like, it's summertime. We're having a good time out here. I like games. You like games. Woo! And then it's like, oh, come on. Like, we know why we're here. Just show us the freaking games. But I think overall they had a pretty cool conference, minus the Just Dance. I don't know why they always open with Just Dance.
I had an argument with somebody about that online. The reason they open with Just Dance and they make a big deal about it every year is because it's one of their best-selling games. The game is still selling on the original Wii.
Gross. I just can't fathom that.
One of Jerry Petty's predictions was that Just Dance for the first time was not going to be available on Wii, and he actually lost that prediction because it's still coming out on the Wii.
God, dog. Well, I mean, if it's selling, it's selling. You can't knock them.
Steven's smiling at something.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, all right, I'm sorry.
That's fine. After them, I would have to say, I'd probably say Nintendo for third. I really enjoyed their conference. I'm kind of with you there. They showed a little too much Smash. Now, I'm a big Smash fan. I love me some Nintendo. But I feel like there was a lot of things we are still kind of sitting on. We want to see, we want to see Metroid Prime 4. We want to know where the hell Star Fox is. We want to know where all these IPs are that aren't being made. Shout out to your homie Andy, Star Tropics. That needs to be a thing. Bring Star Tropics back. But yeah, I mean, it was still solid. I feel like if from the top three, I feel like they all had good conferences. But putting Nintendo at third. Next and second, as much as it hurts me, I had to put Sony.
Wow.
Because I feel like I'm with you though. Like, the quality of the games was there, but I feel like they're maybe they tried a little too hard, and then there was that weird transition that Steven talked about, right after The Last of Us gameplay. It was kind of like, we were sitting around what else is there? We got Death Stranding gameplay, which made me happy, but at the same time, I'm kind of with you. I want that game to kind of go away until it comes back and is ready to give us and they're ready to give us more information on what the game is and a release date. Because I don't want it to fall victim of that, the Last Guardian effect, where it's it's being developed for years and people are hearing about it and they get tired of it. Not saying this game will be in development for 10 years, but I don't.
It will be.
Yeah, I don't want it to be an oversaturation of the game, and because let's face it, gamers can be toxic, and they're hard to please. I've read some stupid comments this week, just people saying the dumbest stuff about the conference, about how E3's done, and these conferences sucked, and everything sucked, and I hate my life. What did you want out of this conference? Is my question. Here's a message to all you gamers out there. What the hell did you want there to be? because we don't just have E3. We have Gamescom. We have Tokyo Game Show. We have PSX. Like, we have all these conferences that can, and not to mention just in between each conference, they can announce stuff.
Yeah,
Like
but
these.
my only problem with that, and I'm sorry to cut you off there.
No, you get.
My problem with so many shows is that E3, like I don't agree that E3 is dying, but I do agree that E3 is not what it used to be because of the fact that they don't want to give us too much here because they want to spread out. They want to release some stuff for PSX and the Paris Games
Right.
Week and TGS. Like, that's great that we're going to get stuff there, but E3, is, and it was part of my argument with the guy that I was talking about with Just Dance. E3 is not for gamers. It's for the stockholders. Them to show this is what we got coming. And the audience reaction to it is where they say the stockholders gain trust in, okay, we're heading in the right direction, because it's Sony's ability to show a game to the audience, to have the audience react in a certain way, so they can turn to their stockholders and say, see, we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I mean, it's all business, right?
It is a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I mean, that's fine. I just feel like a lot of times people they put their expectations in places that, or rather, they should temper their expectations because they put so much trust in these companies. Like, okay, E3, Sony's going to release 20 new IPs, and they're virtually going to reach to their TV and jerk us all
And
off.
Walmart's gonna spoil it.
Walmart's going to spoil it all a week before.
I do like how in some of the conferences, the people before they announce their games says, thanks to Walmart Canada, you guys already know about this.
Yeah, that's awesome. But I mean, like it's E3. We should all be happy. It's video game Christmas.
All right.
We should get excited.
And you got Microsoft at the top, huh?
I do, and it hurts me to say that, and not because I'm trolling on Microsoft, but I feel like Microsoft won, riding off the coattails of a lot of Sony darlings. Like, they had a lot of games. They announced a lot of games. Like, now, granted, Halo and Gears, that's your baby, right? And, like, those games sell, right? I'm sure they'll be great. I used to be a huge Gears fan. I never touched Gears 4 because I refused to buy an Xbox One. Something may change my mind eventually. I don't know. But I feel like Kingdom Hearts 3 and Devil May Cry 5 and even Tomb Raider belong on the Sony stage. But because we're in different times and business is business, we see Microsoft building trust and relationship with these companies, which is great. Like, they should, like, we don't need a monopoly in video games. But I just feel like, for the longest time, Xbox went through this drought of no games, and then they come out E3 swinging with all these great video game titles that aren't even theirs. And it's like, I'm sitting there watching Devil May Cry 5 trailer going, oh my God, I can't wait to play this on my
that's
freaking PlayStation.
But see, that's my
where it belongs.
problem is that they're not Microsoft games. They're being made by other people, and Microsoft is riding off those coattails. The biggest announcements, let's be real. DMC, Devil May Cry, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, The Division, and they even tried to troll us with a Gears of War pop game. Okay, now I'm glad they came out behind that and said Gears 5 is in production, because if they showed us Gears Pop and didn't show us Gears of 5, people would have lost their fucking minds.
And they had Gears Tactics too.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on Microsoft. I
am.
But, okay, so my ranking. Square Enix was the worst. And I'm giving them the worst, and I'm going to tell you why. Not because I lost my prediction, but where the fuck is this Avengers game?
Oh, yeah.
Okay? They show us a minute trailer 2-3 years ago, and not a fucking word has been said about this game since. The latest rumor I heard is that the Avengers game is actually a reboot and reimagining of Marvel Alliance. And if that happens to be true, I swear to God, I'm finding Square Enix's headquarters and I'm burning it down.
I like those games.
I love those games.
I there's nothing wrong with those games, but you can't tease us like that when it's just a reboot and reimagine it of an old game
But
and being made by Crystal
why?
Dynamics.
But why not? They do that with
Because-
Final Fantasy VII. They did that with Final Fantasy 15 when it was announced in 2005 as
Because-
Final Fantasy 13 versus.
Because you announced an Avengers game being made by Crystal Dynamics, which was right after the success of the Tomb Raider reboot. And all of a sudden, you get people hyped up because Square Enix is making an Avengers game, and then nothing. Like, come on. So they're at the bottom right there, just because no Avengers announcement. EA would have gotten worse by me because they just showed us the same shit they show us every single year. Just, here's Madden, but it's 19. Here's FIFA, but it's 19. Done. I'm done. Bethesda, a lot of people love their games. Their games are not for me. But I can recognize that they put on a good show. But like you said, it was a lot of fluff and nothing really groundbreaking. I think if they would have saved the Fallout 76 trailer for E3, it would have been better for them. My next one is going to be Nintendo. Not because I don't like Nintendo, and everybody says that I hate the Switch and all this other stuff. I have one. I don't think they really put on that good of a show. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel.
I feel like they did exactly what they needed to do.
They needed to show us more of Pokemon Go. They show us in the treehouse. Fine. Great. I'm taking on Steven's word. Not that I think Steven would lie to me. Steven, you wouldn't lie to me, right?
No, I sent you a link.
Okay. But give us that news at E3. That's when the world's eyes are on you. Show us. Didn't happen. Ubisoft, I can go into saying that they are my favorite publisher now. They're putting out
hang on,
quality
I got a
games.
bone to pick.
Here's the bone.
Yeah, the Treehouse is part of E3. They were literally back to back. Their E3 was not just their direct. They had said from the very beginning that it was going to be a Nintendo Direct that was going to be focused on Super Smash, a Treehouse which is going to be focused on Pokemon Let's Go and Splatoon, and then a Treehouse focused on Nindies. That was their back to back to back. That was their conference. They don't do a live stage thing. They do like couches and talk with the creators type thing. They basically did what Sony did.
Okay, so
but with the
taking
only
what you
video
said,
only.
taking what you said, it wasn't made clear to me that the Treehouse and everything else was going to be part of their E3 show, and I'm using quotation marks. So, with that being said, I will go watch the Treehouse, and I will probably update this. But like I said, Ubisoft, favorite publisher, they're coming out with quality games I like, The Division 2, Assassin's Creed. They're putting out quality shit, and I'm glad that they're beating back for Vendy.
Real quick, Tricky, it reminds me, you're talking about Treehouse. Soul Calibur 6 was there. It's on the floor, playable, wasn't shown at any conference, and got a release date.
That's because nobody cares about Soul Calibur.
I mean,
No,
people care.
I'm trolling, obviously.
Oh, yeah. But,
Steven,
I
are you
mean,
taking a picture of me?
No.
Should have been somewhere.
Steven just stuck his camera up to the computer and took a picture.
My Audacity.
Uh-oh.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Next, you guys are going to call me the Sony fanboy, but I think Microsoft came in second. Lots of games, good. But Sony had quality over quantity. Like, Sony came out and said, these are the games we're going to show you. And we got the deep dives into the games. These are 4 major games that Sony wanted to show and people wanted to see. And I think they did put on a good show. Outside of the awkward transition, I think Sony had the best conference. That's just the way I feel. I'm sorry.
I respect that. But Microsoft had Cyberpunk 2077.
But did they really?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, they did. They showed it.
They showed a trailer, which could have easily been shown in any capacity.
No, well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's my beef. That's always been my beef. Where like, God, Devil May Cry belongs on Sony stage. Tomb Raider should be on Sony stage, but it is what it is. You know, I mean, I'm happy for both companies. Really, I mean, they're both doing well, and want them both to compete and do well. I just don't want Microsoft to buy all the Sony studios or all the studios that are available, like Ninja Theory.
All right. Let's close out the show because we are approaching. We're over 2 hours now, thanks to Steven and his ranking.
Woo!
I should just make him edit the show now.
Sure. That's
But with all that being said, let's close out the show with some housekeeping.
let's clean this shit up.
Well, you can't say it if you're doing the housekeeping.
Well, I'm gonna clean this shit up.
You're editing now, so get.
All right, let's do it. Let's come on, ladies and gentlemen, come aboard. Yeah, so Proven Gamer's looking for writers and whatnot. So go to provengamer.com and click on the Help Wanted tab and fill out an application. Seriously, we need writers like badly. Like everybody's life is just getting in the way at this point, and we could really use some help on the staff. So if you want to write, if you're passionate about games and you want to be in on the discussion, please go to provengamer.com, fill out a Help Wanted. Click on the Help Wanted tab and fill out an application, and we'll get back to you ASAP. If you want to be a part of the show, you could contact us. We are on Twitter at Proven Gamer, Twitter also at Trophy Whores. Tricky is at Tricky Mick. I am at Batchild27. Frosty, you are at PG Frosty. Woo!
Yes.
Look at me.
Wow, look at that.
Double chest slap. Doing it like Ric
Take
Flair.
a bow for that one.
Hell yeah. Take a bow, indeed. You could also email us at trophyhorse@provengamer.com. Write us your questions and tell Tricky how wrong he is all the time. We do have other
I
shows on the
welcome
Proven
it.
Gamer Network. You have PG Spoilers, which I swear to Bob we are actually going to do at some point. But if you don't want to wait on us, do one yourself. That's right. You can do your own PG Spoilers. Record a podcast any way you want. Sync it up. Send us the audio, and we'll put it up there for you. We'll clean it up. We'll make it, acceptable. We're not going to edit your content, but we're certainly going to make it presentable, and we're going to put it on the internet for you to tell all your friends and family. So yeah, PG Spoilers. We also have a show that I am a co-host of with my partner Andy Asimakis.
It's aight.
Called Nintendo Dual Screens. He's actually at E3. So he's on the show floor right now playing games. So we're going to have a lot to discuss this week. We also have Game Stuff, which is a general games discussion podcast, what's new in gaming, stuff like that, and what's old in gaming, if you're into that as well. You can find those anywhere where podcasts are found. Most notably, Dual Screens and the show you're listening to right now, Trophy Whores, is on Spotify and iHeartRadio.
All right, pause.
Pausing.
We're not on Spotify yet.
Okay. Well, I've been saying it for about 3 weeks, so
I know. I keep forgetting to tell you.
So if you heard that, we're working out the kinks on Spotify, but it's happening. It will happen.
It's in the works.
It will happen. You could hang out with us on PlayStation 4 with a few communities that we have. We have the Proven Gamer community. Just search Proven Gamer. We also have the T-Dubs Brothel because Shuhei Yoshida won't let us say whores on the network. We also have
Damn you,
Yields.
Shuhei.
Damn you, Shuhei. Let us change our names, including the T-Dubs Brothel because it's impossible to search for.
Oh yeah, that didn't happen either.
Yeah, that again, another conference down.
We'll get that at PSX.
You could also join Yield's Platinum Guild as well, where you could share your Platinum trophies and stories that came with it. We do have a couple of partners that we want to tell you about. One of them is Extra Life. Extra Life is a charity organization dedicated to raising money for the Children's Miracle Network of hospitals. And guess what? We have a team, and you could support that team. Go to provengamer.com and click on our Extra Life banner, and you could donate to our team. And at the end of the year, hopefully we reach our goal, and we could heal sick kids. We are also partners with Humble Bundle. If you use our Humble Bundle link, which is supplied in the link description of this podcast, and also splashed about our website every which way, upside down and backwards. If you click that link and you buy anything from Humble Bundle, it's going to go also to our Extra Life charity as well. So It's a win-win situation. Everyone wins. You get super great deals on everything from games to software to visual novels to graphic novels. They sell a bunch of stuff on there on Humble Bundle. We already mentioned Amazon, but I'll mention it one more time. Go to provengamer.com, click on an Amazon ad, do your shopping like normal. Website gets a kickback, helps us. Listen, these are all ways that you're going to help us and also help sick kids. So do all this stuff. It really works. Also, the most direct way that you can help Proving Gamer and this show, Trophy Horse, is to go to patreon.com/Proving Gamer. For as little as $1, you could help us do better content, more content, higher quality content. It's really all up to you. And remember, if you have an Amazon Prime account, again, the whole Twitch Prime thing, it's totally free. Do it every month. We get a couple bucks out of it. You literally costs you nothing. And that's going to lead us into our shout-outs. Tricky, start us off, friend.
No, I go last, buddy.
Why you got to go last?
Because I'm tradition. I go last.
Oh, tradition now. Now we have a tradition. 357 episodes.
I always do my shout-outs, and then I close out the show. It's tradition. Frosty, you go.
Fuck.
I'd like to give a shout-out to my lovely wife, who's let me come into my man cave for like 3 hours and podcast about video games with you nerds.
It's only been 2.
Huge nerds.
Well, who's counting? Shout out to all the fans of Proving Gamer, Trophy Whores, and all the listeners in the community. This is it's always great having a gaming community that backs you and listens to your show and just becomes a part of the discussion, right? Because you do this weekly and you wonder, is anyone actually listening? And then when you go to your Facebook group and you have comments and you have people like, hey, I just got this platinum trophy, check me out. That's really cool. So shout out to my boys at the Loot Bros podcast. I know they listen to the show quite often. I know Daryl's probably listening.
Daryl, send me my damn trophies.
Resident Evil 2 remake, baby. It's coming.
I swear to God, he probably, and I'm sorry for the younger listeners, he probably came his panties when he saw that.
Woo.
Oh, he pissed blood. Healthy piss blood. Shout out to all my friends who watch me. Yeah, you totally did. Shout out to my buddies who join me when I Twitch stream. And I'm still small time, but it's always fun having you guys come and interact in the chat. I swear to you, it's my promise, I will get back on the streaming bandwagon soon. Life was really busy for a while, but I'm back. Schedule slowed down, so I'm going to do this. Twitch.tv/PGFrosty. That's it.
I do notice that even though you left PG, you still keep PG at your name.
It's so symbolic now.
Well, it's not loyalty, it's just laziness.
It's another L word.
Steven, your shout-outs.
Shout out to developers everywhere. This is the greatest time of the year to be a gamer, to see all the hard work that developers have been doing over the course of the last year. Blood, sweat, and tears that go into these things that we sometimes spend as little as 2 hours with. It means the world to have this option for entertainment. Truly means the world. Shout out to the listeners. Thank you so much for listening to our complete idiocy every week. It's wonderful to be a part of. Shout out to Tricky, who is, I am pretty sure he has nearly killed himself about trying to organize episode 350. So shout out to you, sir, on that. Shout out to Frosty. I believe this is the first time you and I are on a show together, I think. But I got
the last time.
Well, maybe. I got to be honest. You and Daryl sound a lot alike. It's kind of scary. Like,
that is weird.
At least to me. But you know what? Whatever. I'm racist.
Yeah, but my opinions. I mean, yeah.
all you white people.
Gets,
I'm telling you.
In your defense, Steven, you really don't know if it is Frosty or Daryl because he doesn't have a camera up. So it could be Daryl behind the microphone just with Frosty's picture.
Could be. I could be being punked. That's it. That's my shout-outs.
He turned his camera on now. Shout out to the listeners. First and foremost, thank you very much. Yes, we are, again, reminder, we are taking next week off before Father's Day, which also happens to be the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which that just worked out great because we knew we were going to lose yield for that. So we're going to return the following week, June 24th. 5 o'clock start, which is going to aggravate Steven. Steven cannot get that early on Sundays. And apologies to your mother and wife now.
Don't worry. I'll be able to work something out, I'm sure.
Shout out to the goddess who was waiting for me to get done recording, but I believe actually went to sleep because I don't hear the TV in the back because she was trying to get the Detroit Platinum before I can even beat the game.
Ooh.
Jeez.
Yeah, she's killing it. She was bragging to me the other day. She goes, "Have you beaten Detroit yet?" I'm like, "No." She goes, "I'm on my 3rd playthrough."
Nice.
I'm like, "Well, you have a lot more time than I do." She goes, "You're always sitting at your desk playing video games." No, I'm at my desk playing video games, editing the show, trying to get 350 together, yelling at Steven, yelling at Alex, yelling at Yield, because nobody wants to answer a message for 3 days until after I send the message. Steven, I'm looking at you.
Yeah. I know who you're looking at.
Very, 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 very. See, you listeners, behind the scenes, real quick. I got the utmost respect for Steven, but sometimes talking to him is just really damn annoying.
It's impossible sometimes.
Like, I'll call him, and he'll send me a message going, "I'm busy. I'll call you back in 5 minutes." 3 days later, "Hey, you want me to call you?"
Yeah, that's the life.
What's worse, making a phone call to Steven or recording an episode with the Loot Bros?
Lou Bros.
Because at least I
speaking of
text him. Like I text him. A lot of times he calls me when I'm like in bed. And I'm like, I don't want to. And he always video chats me. He doesn't.
I'm calling him at 8 o'clock at night. What is the man doing in bed at 8 o'clock at night when he got home from work 2 hours before that?
I eat dinner. Well, 8 o'clock I'm putting the kids to bed. That's usually why I'm ignoring you. But
anyway, shout out to Sweet Mama D, who is waiting for me to tell her some Pokemon news, so I'm going to have to watch this Treehouse. How long is the Treehouse? Half an hour?
45 minutes.
Oh, boy. So now I can...
4 hours.
So now... no, that's
just
good.
the
because
Pokemon one, by the way.
That's fine, because now I can stick the Sweet Mama D on the couch, use the Chromecast, and let her watch the video while I'm over here doing something. I don't feel like I'm ignoring her.
Booyah.
So... my electronic babysitter. Shout out to Frosty. Thank you for showing up. Twerp you to Daryl, who apparently is too busy to go home and record with us. So so Steven will never know if he actually recorded with Daryl or Frosty.
The jury's still out on that one.
Yes. Thank you again, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Hopefully, we got some surprises coming. We have some business to handle. And we might be going across the pond a little bit. So until then, happy trophy hunting.
Be excellent to each other.
Later.
Save your last words, then read to me this. Save your last words. Save your last words, then read to me this. Save your last words, then read to me this. Save your last words, then read to me this. Save your last words, then read to me this.
The theme song is Venus by the band Even off their album Zenith. Permission granted by the band and 12 Stone Records. You can find them on Facebook by going to www.facebook.com/evenphilippines.